learn about when it was built, who owned it, how it was built, how it was made, how it was created, and a bunch more. If you want to learn anything crazy, then stay tuned.
Father-in-law, Dick Doherty, who, with other people on the school board and the school system, purchased the school farm. So they purchased a 100-acre farm. It's 100 acres straight through. And the middle school here sits on about 20 of it. And the fields back here, maybe another. And a principal called Mr. Proud, who was actually a middle school principal here at one time and lives in South Bend right now. He's retired. And Dave Casey, who was a former superintendent, a former elementary principal at Stark. And I think he might have been a mock. Got together and looked at the properties and started thinking about doing something with it with kids. And that's kind of where all the outdoor activities started.
Yeah.
Mr. Proud was instrumental in doing the Maple Syrup Project, which used to be a middle school project. It used to be 6th graders out there doing that. And they would stay all night out at Clear Lake. And have you done maple syrup? Yeah. Okay, so you know where that is. And it was across the road from where we tap trees. You're probably with me, I'm guessing. And I don't know if you were in the Sugar Shack when we had the old cooker in there, which was all cement block and stone and stuff like that.
I don't think so.
Okay, well that used to sit in the woods.
Oh, okay.
With nothing around it. And they there's a lot of stories about that, but they would make the maple syrup out there. That's kind of where it started.
Okay.
And Fuller's Resort was owned by Laverne Souls and his wife Mary Souls, who Mary was the secretary at Moxon when I started, and for quite a few years with me before she retired. And her husband, they owned Clear Lake campgrounds. And so they let them tap the trees in there and that kind of stuff. And I don't think they tapped over in Life Action at that time. I'm not sure about that. I don't think they did. And I think it just kind of exploded from there. When I came in '86, there was a whole set of programs, most of which we're still doing. Some of them go to Fernwood. We don't do anything at the farm for those kinds of things. But they saw the opportunity to have really kind of a cool, unique program at the school farm that they could involve kids with. Agriculture is big in this area, as I said earlier, so it seemed to fit right in with what was happening around it. So they just kind of built on the programs a little bit at a time, over time, and by the time I got here, most of those programs were still in place and really haven't changed a whole bunch. We've added some things, just subtracted some things, changed some things to different grade levels because curriculums have changed a little bit, and what we think kids need to know. But the biggest part of that was just to have the hands-on kinds of stuff that really some kids really need and most kids like. So it's kind of the background of all that starting, and it's still going on. So it's kind of cool.
Thank you.
Been a lot of years.
Hi, I'm Corbin Blair, and I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Kelly Lesh. I'm a school board member with Buchanan Community Schools, and I'm the school liaison for the school farm.
That's very nice. Today we're going to ask you questions about the history of the farm.
Okay.
What all do you know about the history of the farm?
I know that the farm, so 2 years ago we had the big 50th anniversary of our school farm. So our farm and basically the land that it sits on was donated by a family. And then the middle school also before it was all built. But the middle school was built here, and then the school farm was already existing. And so it was donated to the schools, and then the school has used it for the last 52 years, doing programs, ag programs, a lot of the elementary. They have taken on all things from maple syrup, apple cider, pumpkin harvest, growing, recycling. They've had a lot of different programs in the elementary level. So one of the other things is the schoolhouse that sits on the school farm was transferred there, was moved there. They had a great big collaborative effort, a community kind of campaign to get the schoolhouse there. That was very exciting. About, I want to say 40 some years ago. I'm trying to think of the dates on those. I don't have them off the top of my head. Sorry. So all that, then the history of, they have an old portable that's out there that they've done anywhere from adult ed, alternative ed, but we do some classrooms. It's pretty old and outdated. So we are trying to, work for the history of the school farm. We're trying to get some of that stuff refreshed, refurbished, and get it back going. Our barn is super cool. We have our pancake breakfasts during our annual plow days every year that we just got done in April. So it's fun. They serve pancakes, and you get to tour the barn and the field and the grounds of the school farm and just all the history that does exist. So 52 years is a lot. Our history of the school farm, we would love to see continue, and the sustainability of the school farm grow another 52 years. So,
when you were a kid, and if you went to the school farm, if so, what did you remember about the school farm?
Yep. I'm a graduate from Buchanan. I graduated in 1995, so a few years back. I would say that what I remember most is maple syrup. Maple syrup was one of my favorite. One, not only for the science aspect and just to see how the environment and the living things in our world produces such neat existing stuff that you can eat and thrive off of, and that gold, syrup that we make every year. So just the whole process of it, learning about it. A lot of the things I would say people, especially now, your age and generation, don't get a lot of the hands-on. So we're all kind of into technology, and we like computers and gaming and phones. And this, I feel like our school farm brings a lot of that personal aspect back to using your own hands, growing your own gardens. We get to do the pumpkins, but you can grow stuff, you can flourish with it, and just show that, what the Indians did how many years ago, we're